Hello everyone, I'm just trying to set everything up before we start. Come on into this broadcast that is much needed, especially if you are a Satanist, especially if you are part of the LGBTQ community, because this broadcast is just for you. Brought to you by me, a real live witch. And we're going to talk about this Grammy performance that happened this past Sunday on a full moon. Sunday was a full moon. That's important. Keep that in mind as we go through. I have about 6 talking points that we're going to get right into. For those of you who don't know me, are new here, I'm High Priestess Austin Phoenix. I am a witch. I am not a Satanist. But yes, you can be a Satanist and a witch. Yes, you can be a Satanist and a witch. But just for the sake of argument, I personally am a witch. Let me just stop showing this picture. The Grammys this past Sunday was amazing, as always. And I've always found that people, especially Christians that have problems with the Grammys, are the same people who cannot sing or rap. I can't sing. I can probably rap if I took it seriously enough, but I know I can't sing. I'm not Beyonce, okay? I'm not Nicki Minaj. I'm not Cardi B. I'm not that talented musically. I'm not. I could get that way if I took it seriously, but I probably won't take it seriously. So tonight's broadcast, we're talking about this performance that took place. This performance right here, with Sam Smith performing Unholy with a transgender woman. So that's a gift to the LGBT community, and they won the Grammy for it, which is well deserved. Now, before Sunday, I did not know who this guy was. I had never heard of him before, but I was hearing so much on social media about this satanic ritual, and we know how people don't really know about Satanists. They think that Satanists worship Satan. Satanists do not worship Satan. Satanists do not worship Satan. I'm going to get into that as well. This was a great performance. When it comes to the Grammys, my first point, when it comes to the Grammys, you have to put on your best performance. You have to put on your best performance. You have very little room for error. You have to shock in all your audience. The Grammys is the one time of the year for musicians to show what they are really made of. It's the one night of the year when you have to be almost perfect with little room for error. Little itty bitty tiny room of error. You are not afforded many mistakes because it's live. It's live. And like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, I feel like people who criticize the Grammys are people who do not have any musical talent of their own. They're jealous. They're jealous. If I was really into music, I would probably be jealous too. Like, why can't that be me? Why didn't, how they would say, why didn't God or Jesus bless me musically? That's what I would probably say if I actually was really into music like that, but I'm not. So I feel like it comes from a place of jealousy. I talked about Beyonce last year about if she was a witch or not. Go back and rewatch that broadcast. It's also available on YouTube. She took home the most Grammys ever this past Sunday. I feel like it comes from a place of jealousy. At the Grammys, you have to shock and awe. You have to be at your best. You have to be damn near perfect at the Grammys. You don't have much room for mistakes. You have to be almost, because nobody is, you have to be almost perfect. Almost perfect. When it comes to the Sam Smith performance, it's been said that this is a ritual, a satanic ritual. No, it's not. If you're a Satanist watching this broadcast or will be watching the replay, you know that was not a satanic ritual. You know that. If you are a pagan, a witch, a Wiccan, a Satanist, a Luciferian, a devil worshiper, you know that performance this past Sunday was not a ritual. It was not a ritual. It was not a ritual. You know, if you are a pagan, what a real ritual is. If you are a pagan, a witch, a Wiccan, anybody who is not a follower of the Abrahamic faith, anybody who is not a Christian, Muslim, or Jew, you know what a ritual is. You know. You just know. That is what you saw on Sunday was not a satanic ritual. It was not. Because rituals are not done openly. A ritual would never be done openly. It's a closed practice. A ritual is a closed practice. A closed practice. It's never out in the open. Because you don't want people to have your secrets. I would never invite somebody into my coven to be a spectator of a ritual that I'm doing. Never. Because they are not a member of the coven. A ritual would not... this Sunday's performance, nothing was being summoned. Nothing was being, put out there. If that was the case, everybody would have seen it. Everybody would have seen it if something was truly being summoned. It would not be in hiding. You would not be imagining it. Your imagination would not be running away from you. You would see it in the flesh. You would see it like you're looking at me right now. You would see it as though you are looking at me right now. It would not be in hiding. It would not be in hiding. If Sam Smith was actually summoning Satan, Lucifer, the devil, you would see it. You would see it. How would I see it? Would I see it in my mind? No, you would see it with your physical eyes. For you to see it in your head, it means that you are actually imagining it. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. What Christians fail to understand about the performance this past Sunday is that this was a mockery. The performance was a mockery of what's the stereotype of a Satanist is. It was a mockery of what Satanist is. It's not true. Let me tell you something about Satanists. Satanists look like everybody else. Satanists look like everybody else. You don't know if your mail carrier is a Satanist. You don't know if your teachers are Satanists. You don't know if your children's teachers are Satanists. You don't know if your neighbor is a Satanist. Because we, just like witches, we look like everybody else. We look normal. Satanists don't look a certain way. Witches don't look a certain way. We look like everybody else. The performance this past Sunday was a mockery of what Christians think Satanists are. It was like just throwing it in their face, making them force to see it. You see how wrong you are about Satanists? Don't you understand that Satanists look like everybody else? So you can never pinpoint them. You can't say, oh, I feel demonic energy coming from this person or this group of people. That's not enough. It'll never be enough. We look completely normal. Satanists look completely normal. They don't look like what you saw this past Sunday. It was a mockery. It was a mockery of the stereotype of Satanists. Christians tell Satanists that Satan is their father, when Satanists do not worship Satan. Satanists do not worship Satan. Oh, yes, they do. That's why they're called Satanists. You're not listening to me. Satanists do not worship Satan. Why am I being so defensive of Satanists even though I'm a witch? Because I have friends that are Satanists. That's why. And I have always come to the defense of Satanists, even though I am a witch. I'm a witch, but I have friends that are Satanists, and I will always come to their defense. Always. I'm not pushing an agenda. I'm not pushing Satanism on you. I have friends that are Satanists. They stand up for witches. I'm going to stand up for them. And yes, like I said earlier, there is such a thing as a satanic witch. You might not like that. Oh no, there's no such thing as a satanic witch. You're wrong. You're dead wrong. You could not be more wrong. Yes, satanic witches are real. They exist. And they are welcome in our witch universe. They are welcome in our community. They're valid. You can't exclude them just because they have the word Satan in front of the word witch. Satanists worship the self. Satanists worship themselves. That means having self-respect, having self-esteem, having self-confidence, having self-love. No, that does not make Satanists selfish. It means that Satanists typically put themselves first. They no longer let people trample over them or let people go ahead of them when they do not deserve to be ahead of them. Oftentimes, Satanists put themselves first. Not because they're selfish, not because they're arrogant or cocky or don't care about other people, but because many Satanists have put themselves second, last. Many Satanists have gone the extra mile for people and left themselves behind. Satanists do not worship Satan. Satanism is worshiping the self, yourself. Yourself. Meaning you take, it's a little bit like being a witch, a little bit. Listen, it's a little bit. It's a little itty bit like being a witch. You take personal responsibility. You take personal accountability for yourself. You want something, you go out and get it. Essentially, Satanists are atheists, but not all atheists are Satanists. Can I say that? I'll say it again. Satanists tend to be atheists, but not all atheists are Satanists. Just like you can be a witch and not be a Wiccan. But witches and Wiccans and Satanists and Luciferians and devil worshippers are all pagan because they are neither a Christian, Muslim, or Jew. Just to put that out there, because I know there's a lot of confusion of what category we all fall under. Anybody who is a pagan is someone who does not follow the three Abrahamic faith known as Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. So just to put that out there, you need to know what Satanists do. Any Satanist, let me say this also, any Satanist that participates in any ritual that includes killing a person or an animal is not a Satanist. They are a psychopath. They are a psychopath. No Satanist kills people or kills animals. They don't sacrifice people or babies or, children, or they don't eat babies. They don't kidnap people and eat them. They don't, sacrifice them to Satan. They don't do any of that at all. That's a lie that you were taught by Christians. That's a lie that you were taught by Christians. It's not true. It's a lie. No Satanist does those things. Anybody who does those things is a psychopath. Is a psychopath. And it should be in jail. So my point number 4, this was the first time, going to the LGBTQ community, this was the first time that a transgender woman, Kim Petras, and a non-binary man, Sam Smith, has won a Grammy. So that's a big win for my LGBTQ people. I'm really happy for you guys because it's well deserved. I'm going to get into why I believe that really pisses off Christians. How dare you give a transgender woman, a non-binary man, a Grammy? That's the highest award in music you can get. A Grammy. How dare you give them a Grammy? Oh, transgender women are not real women. Yes, they are. Let me say this. Transgender women are women. Transgender men are men. They are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. I don't want to hear it. Do the research yourself. Kim Petras is a woman. She's the first woman to win a Grammy. She can sing. I heard her on Sunday. She snapped. She was running that joint. She ate and left no crumbs. She looked amazing. She sounded amazing. And she deserved that Grammy. Put aside for a minute that she's transgender. She can sing. She can sing. She did that shit. She did that. And she earned it. She earned it. But, this was a history-making night to have the first transgender woman and non-binary man win a Grammy, but their performance was overshadowed by it. And I'm going to get into that. The song Unholy is about infidelity. The song is like 2 minutes long. It's less than 3 minutes long. Unholy is about infidelity, which goes against the Bible. I don't know why Christians haven't pointed that out. Listen, Christians are not that smart, but they're not that stupid either. They heard the song. They know the song. The song is very clear about it being about infidelity, which goes against the Bible. I don't understand why the infidelity did not have Christians up in arms. What's going on with your cheating husband? What's going on with your cheating wife? What's going on with your side piece? What's going on with your bitch? Can I say it like that? So, and more, I think what's really, really big is the Grammys took place on the night of a full moon, the 5th. What did I say about full moons? Full moons brings things into the light. Full moon exposes things. Full moons brings things into the light. Full moons expose things. So what does this mean? The song is about infidelity. There's infidelity happening. It's no coincidence that this song about infidelity was performed on the night of a full moon, when the goddess Hecate, the queen of witches, is at the height of her power. She exposed infidelity. Hecate exposed infidelity. Could they have done the performance a different way? No, they did the performance as the sin of infidelity. Or you should not have anybody besides me as your partner. You know how many Christians break that commitment? You know how many Christians right now are cheating on their spouse? You know how many pastors and self-proclaimed prophets are cheating with their husbands and their wives right now as I speak? And then going to church in a couple of days talking about praise Jesus, but yet their side chick is waiting for them to come home, waiting to meet them at a hotel later on. But we don't like to talk about that, do we? I don't think they should have changed the performance. People like to say, oh, they didn't have to choose a satanic theme. Well, you know what? Maybe if you hadn't spent all of your life saying that people of the LGBTQ community were going to hell because they are LGBTQ, and maybe if you hadn't spent most of your life saying that people who are Satanists, Luciferians, devil worshippers, witches, wicked, or any type of pagan are going to burn in hell, maybe they would not have had to make a mockery of it and throw it in your face. Maybe that. Oh, but some people just don't think that far. A lot of people just don't think at all. You say that to a Christian, you say what I just told you to a Christian, they'll be up in arms. They won't have a response to that. They'll still go back to the Bible and point out this piece and that piece about what it says. Oh, what's the final destination to people who reject Jesus? Now listen, I don't know if Sam Smith and Kim Patras is Satanist. I don't know. And guess what? I don't need to know. I don't need to know who's a Satanist and who's not, because it's none of my business. That's why. And of course, if you did not like the performance, why didn't you just change the channel? Do you not have a remote control? Just change the channel. You know, Christians like to say about this performance, oh, the children. What about the children? Think about the children. Oh, they're correcting the children. You don't care about children. You don't care about the children in foster care. You only care about children after they are born and then they're on their own. You just want children born but not actually cared for. So shut up talking about, oh, the children are going to be starting to worship Satan. People decades past said the same thing about Elvis. They said the same thing about Madonna. They said the same thing about the Beatles. They said the same thing about Michael Jackson. It's just Sam Smith's time to be criticized. And Christians come out with this fake worry about the children. The children, oh, they say, the Christians say, oh, they're not even hiding it anymore. And they say things like, oh, Hollywood is so demonic and evil. And these are the same people. Like I said earlier, these are the same people who don't have any talent. They have no musical talent. Or they say things like, this person can't be that talented. This person must have sold their soul to sound so good. Go back to my Beyonce live stream that I did last year. This person can't be that talented. This person must have sold their souls to be so talented. Maybe people are just talented. Maybe it's just hard work. Maybe it has nothing to do with the devil or Satan or doing a spell, ritual, hex, or curse. Maybe people are just talented. And you're a hater. You're a hater. Because you don't have any musical talent. You're not winning or even being nominated for any awards. Because you don't have that it factor. That's why. You have no talent. You have no musical talent. So you hate on people who do have the talent. You have no talent. I told you at the beginning of this broadcast, I can't sing. I can probably rap if I took it seriously, but I can't sing. No. At all. There's no point in me even trying. Oh, just try. I can't try. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't have it. At all. At all. I will never have it. Some people are born talented. Sam Smith's performance was amazing. It was art, and art is subjective. Art is subjective. There's some artists that I don't like, that I don't listen to, because I don't think it's art, but that does not mean that somebody else won't think that it's art, even though I disagree. And if I don't like something, just turn the TV off or watch something else. Go for a walk. Do something productive. Mop the floor. Take a bath. Do something with yourselves. But don't come off as a hater. Don't come off as a hater and then try to say Hollywood, or what they call Hollyweird, is corrupting our children when you don't care about the children. You don't. You know you don't. If Sam Smith is a Satanist, that's his business. Now listen, when I first saw the performance, I said to myself, they look crazy as hell. He looks evil as hell. But that's just the look. Okay, you have to practice that look in the mirror. You don't just have it. You have to practice that. It's called acting. It's called acting. Now, when I saw the dancers around him, let me see if I have that photo. Yeah, this is it. When I saw the performers around him, I thought to myself, they look like that girl from The Ring, Samara, that was dancing around him, and he was like supposed to be the devil. That's my first thought. If he's a Satanist, that's his business. What are you actually going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about somebody, because we have freedom of religion. And Christians get upset and say, Christian values are being, stomped on. But it seems to me like it's only religion freedoms for them, and not religion freedoms for other beliefs, for other religions. It seems like Christians want to make Christianity the dominant religion when we have no dominant religion, because we have freedom from religion, or freedom to have religion. But you can't drag somebody into your church. You can't drag somebody into your many ministries and demand that they give their life to Christ, or demand that they repent because you don't like it. Christians tend to act this way when they don't get their way. If you don't like the performances at the Grammys, start your own award show just for Christians. Do that. Manage that. I said at the beginning of this broadcast, when you go to the Grammys, you have to put on your best performance. You have to shock and awe. You have to shock and awe. And Sam Smith shocked and awe. He did that. He did a job. And he did it well. The songstress, the transgender woman, Kim Patras, she did the same thing. And they earned that Grammy. They earned it. It was a good performance. It was good. It was shocking and awe. It was good. It was really, really good. You can't say that it's mocking Christianity when pagans have always been belittled and bullied for centuries. There have been millions of pagans killed off in the name of Jesus Christ. There have been more pagans killed off than Christians. That's a fact. That's not me talking out my ass. That's a fact. So let's be honest. Now, I believe that the real anger that the Christians have towards this performance is the fact that members of the LGBTQ community were awarded a Grammy. How dare you give a transgender woman a Grammy? She's not a woman. Transgender women are women. Why is that so hard to understand? Transgendered women are women. They are. And this is a big win for the LGBTQ community, because they are most often ignored bullied, killed off, tortured, kidnapped, and go to religious conversion camps to give their life back to Christ. By the way, those camps don't work. You will probably still be gay. You will still probably be transgender. You will still probably be a lesbian or bisexual or non-binary. I believe the real anger is that a transgender woman won a Grammy. That was well deserved, by the way. They did not just... Now listen, I know some artists that were given Grammys and they didn't really deserve them. But when it comes to Kim Petras, she deserved it. Okay? It was a great song. It was a song about infidelity. It was not a song about sacrificing your child to Satan or eating babies or murdering people or setting, cars on fire and whatnot. It was not about that. It was not about that. This was not a satanic ritual. It was a mockery of what people tend to believe about Satanists, which is totally wrong. Because Satanists do not worship Satan. Satanists do not worship Satan. Satanism is about the self. It does not make Satanists selfish. It does not. It means they tend to put themselves first. Not because they're arrogant or cocky or think they're better than everybody else. No. It's because most of the time they have put others before them and left themselves behind. And you never want to leave yourself behind for somebody who does not really appreciate you on the down low. And the reason why I'm defending Satanists so much, why is she so defensive of Satanists? Aren't she a witch? Yeah, I am a witch. I am a witch. But guess what? I have friends that are Satanists. And I'm always, tell me a time I have not defended Satanists. I have always offended Satanists. Always. Any person who does any type of ritualistic murder is not a Satanist. They are a psychopath. They're sick. The Sam Smith performance this past Sunday on a full moon on the 5th of February was a great performance. It was art. Art is subjective. You might say, no, it was not art, it was demonic. No, it was not demonic. If you really want to know who Satan is, the real, true, blue Satan, look in the mirror. Are you calling me Satan? No. I'm asking you to look in the mirror and see what's inside of your heart. That's what I'm asking you to do. Look in your own heart. Because maybe he resides in you. Maybe you are Satan. How can you say that? I just did. There are good and bad in all of us. It's what you choose to act on that makes you who you are. Being God or being Satan tends to be a state of mind. It depends on what you do in the real world. But this performance was not a satanic ritual because they're not done in public. People will have you say, this is the symbol for Satan. Sit, sit, sit. No, it's not. It's just 3 fingers. It's 3 fingers. It's just 3 fingers. That's it. That's it. This is just 2 fingers. That's it. They only use these fingers as a mockery because that's what has always been seen in TV and movies to represent Satan. When it's just really fingers. Everybody has fingers, right? Duh, right. It's just a way to mock Christianity. It's just a way to mock anybody that follows the Abrahamic faith that have wrong truths about Satanism. That's it. That's it. It's making them look in the mirror. It's making them look in the mirror. That's all it is. They're just fingers. They don't represent anything. This performance was just that, a performance. You can't think that everything is supernatural. You can't think that things are out to get you all the time. They're not. They're not. Some things are just what it seems. I said this before like 3 times now. When you are performing at the Grammys, you have to do your best. You have to be better than your best. You have to be better than when you are in rehearsal. You have to be. The Grammys is the one night in all musicians' lives to show the world what they really got, what they're really working with. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. This was not demonic. I didn't feel anything evil coming from it. But I felt the backlash from people who are against the LGBT community. I felt the energy of the backlash of people who were angered that a transgender woman, who is a woman, was awarded a Grammy. I felt that unfairly. And I would go so far as to say inappropriately. Why can't a transgender woman receive a Grammy? I want to see more of these types of performances. Because we can't be pushed back into the broom closet. Or, pushed back into the pits of hell that Christians have created for Satanists and Luciferians and devil worship. I want to see more of these types of performances. You have to be very artistic. You have to be very creative to muster this type of performance, to pull it off. And it was a good performance. It was. It was really good. It was very creative. And it really fit the theme of infidelity. It was not encouraging infidelity. The song was exposing a husband cheated on his wife. And his child doesn't know. The song is about infidelity. What did you expect Sam Smith to do? Walk around with angel wings? The song is called Unholy. Unholy. The song is not called Hallelujah. I can't even say the word. I can't even say that word. But it's not like the song is called Joy or Heaven or Jesus. The song is called Unholy. Did you expect him to show up dressed as an angel? No. It was a good performance. It's a great song. And it deserves that Grammy. And I want to see more of it. I love when people push the envelope. I love when people go there. I love the shock and awe. I love when people do things different. I love when people are different. I love when the LGBTQ community show out and just snap. Just take over the whole show. I'm such a big supporter of that community that I want to see more of them brought to the forefront. I want to see more of them on stage. Maybe not just doing that, but be acknowledged. But that type of performance was good. That was a good performance. Because I don't think anybody was expecting that. Because it could have been any type of theme. It did not have to be a satanic theme. Or I should say a stereotype of a satanic theme. That's what it is. But it was good though. It was shock. It was for shock value. They had people clenching their pearls like, help me Jesus, help me God. It was for shock value. And it shocked a lot of people. But they can't deny that the song is a bop. Okay? The song is straight fire. It's straight fire. No pun intended. It's straight fire. It was a good song. It was a good performance. So all of this controversy surrounding Sam Smith, surrounding Kim Prentice, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It is stupid. It is. It's just another attack on the LGBTQ community. I don't know if Sam Smith is a genuine, authentic Satanist. I don't need to know. It's none of my business. If he is, that's great. If he's not, that's great also. That's his business. I don't know what he does behind closed doors. I don't need to know because I'm not nosy. I'm not in anybody's business like that. I don't need to be in anybody's business like that. Whatever you do, however you keep yourself happy, whoever you praise and worship and honor and give to, that's your business, not mine. I don't need to know. Unless you tell me, I don't ask. I stay out of people's business. But if he is, if he's not, he made an impact. And that performance will not soon be forgotten. That performance will not soon be forgotten. And that type of performance will be done again. That type of performance will be done again. The more the Christians did him a favor. They kept talking about it on social media. So people kept on trying to search for the video, and they gave that performance the attention that the Christians did not want Sam Smith to have. So they helped him anyway. That's smart. And I don't understand why Christians were saying that it was demonic. Why were you watching it? Why did you sit through the performance? The performance was maybe 2 minutes and 40 seconds long. It was less than 3 minutes long. You sat there for 2 minutes and watched the whole thing. You were that mesmerized. You were that shocked. You wanted to see how it was going to end. You could have changed the channel at any second, but you sat there and watched the whole thing. And now you want to go on social media and complain about it when you had the opportunity to change the channel? No, you're just dick riding. You are just dick riding. Simple as that. Because you had more than enough time in that 2 minutes and 40 seconds that the performance was to change the channel. And you didn't. You sat there and watched the whole thing. So why are you on his dick about it? When you could have changed the channel. Oh, I wanted to see. They might say, I wanted to see if it got any better. The song is called Unholy. Why would it get any better? Or what you think better is. Why would it? No, you sat there and watched the whole thing. You did. Nobody held a gun to your head and made you watch it. You sat there and watched the whole thing. And then you want to go on social media and complain about it. Why were you watching it? How do you know how it ended if you didn't watch the whole thing? And then you want to cry about the children. Think about the children. What about the children? Shut the fuck up about the children. You don't care about the children. You don't. At all. You're just mad. You're just a hater. Because you have no musical talent. It's okay if you don't have no musical talent. Do something else. I can't sing. I know that much. I'm not winning no Grammy. Hell, I'm not even being nominated for a Grammy. That's never going to happen. But I'm not a hater though. And I know good art when I see it. I know trash when I see it. And I know I can simply change the channel. I can simply just change the channel if I don't like something. If I don't like something, I'm not going to sit there and watch the whole thing like a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You could have changed the channel and you didn't do that. So what are you complaining about? You're just looking for sympathy. You're just looking for somebody to get on your pity train. You're just dick riding. That's the truth. That might sound harsh. That might sound disrespectful. That might sound gross. But you are dick riding. Because at any time you could have changed the channel and you didn't do nothing. So I just wanted to come on and share that with you witches, you Satanists. I know a lot of you followers are Satanists. Some of you are satanic witches too. And I need to come to your defense. Because you're not treated much better than the witches and Wiccans and other pagans. And I know some people might say, no, it's not true though, but some people might say, oh, they don't make fun of Islam. They don't make fun of Buddhists. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Islam is part of the Abrahamic faith. Muslims believe that Satanists are going to hell. Buddhists not so much. Buddhist is paganism. Islam is not paganism. Yeah, they do. They mock them too. It's not that... Listen, Christianity is not being picked on. It's being exposed. The hypocrisy, how much a Christian is a hypocrite, is being exposed. We just had a full moon. Full moons is about exposure. Full moons are about bringing things to light. So don't sit here and say, oh, they don't make fun of Buddhists. They don't make fun of Muslims. Yes, they do. It's just that Christians are the one beating everybody else above the head with their religion. And that's the truth. It's Christians that are beating everybody else about the head with their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. But of course, we know that Christians don't take personal responsibility for anything. They always blame Satan for their problems. They blame Satan. They blame witches. They blame the Democratic Party. Yes, they do. Christians blame anybody who don't give in to them. Christians blame everybody that don't let them have their own way. Oh, it's a demon. It's a spirit. It's a witch. It's a Satanist. It's some other pagan. Because they did not do what I wanted them to do. No, it's because you're acting like a child. That's why. You're acting like a child. Either a child that got their ass beat too many times, or a child that did not get their ass beat enough times. That's a fact. That's a fact. Let's not lie. Let's tell the truth. We know that Christians make a spectacle out of anything when they don't get their way. Who cares if you don't get your way? Grow up. Grow up. Take some personal accountability. Take some personal responsibility. Stop being such a hypocrite. Stop throwing a hissy fit when you don't get your way. The world does not revolve around Jesus Christ. The world does not revolve around you. And the Grammys this past Sunday was just an award ceremony. It was not a ritual. Nothing was summoned. Nothing was being summoned. A transgender woman and a non-binary man won a Grammy that they deserved. And their theme for their performance just happened to be satanic. On the question of if they are Satanists, I can't answer that question because I don't know. I don't need to know. So thank you, witches, for joining me tonight on this broadcast. I will, of course, leave this up for the replay for anybody that may have came on late, or if you want to rewatch it and take much notes. Do share this broadcast if you happen to know a Satanist or somebody thinking of becoming a Satanist or witch, and especially those who are a part of the LGBTQ community, because this was an on-time broadcast. This was the truth, unfiltered, unedited, uncensored. And of course, it was anointed by my chosen goddess, Hecate, the queen of witches. Because yes, there are Satanists that worship Hecate. There are such a thing as satanic witches. They exist. You might not like it, but they exist. So thank you, witches, for joining me for tonight's broadcast. I love this broadcast. It was energized. It was straight to the point. You know, I was the fittest Satanist. I was. Because we are all we have. We are all we have. That's why. So thank you, witches, for coming on tonight. With that, I release you into the rest of your evening. Bye, everyone.